Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fantasy NBA Today, a sports ethos show brought to you by our great partners at FanDuel. I'm Aaron Bruski, joined as always by the great Dr. A. On today's show, we're diving into the top ads, breaking down players in the drop zone, and highlighting the best streamers that can help you win your week. Let's get started, Doc. Finally, after all that time, how you doing? And who's your top ad after Thursday night's action?
I'm doing okay. I've been
deep breaths.
Haven't had much time to sleep in the last 24 hours, but I'm here. My top ad after last night is Johnny Kuminga. Jalen Johnson is hurt. We don't know for how long. Zach Reese-Sachet is not very good at professional level basketball.
Ooh.
And Jonathan Kuminga looks like he might really give the restabilize the Hawks, like he reinforce the Hawks. And the Hawks, while they're not a dominant team in the East, they're an okay team that can win on any given night. So Kuminga had 17 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, a steal, a block, and a 3. Played 30 minutes last night. When Jalen Johnson comes back, I'm not going to be like telling people they have to hold on to Jonathan Kuminga, but I think for as long as Jalen is out, you want Kuminga on your roster.
Well, I'll do a quick schedule check, Doc, and just see, are they playing the Washington Wizards for the third night in a row? Just gonna go over here and check that. Oh, I don't think they are, but
that would be useful if they were.
It would be helpful. Kidding aside, I think what's good about Kuminga, I know obviously we talked about this all year. He's not a great stat guy for fantasy leagues, but it feels like if they go down one player, it just kind of doesn't matter who it is across their main guys, he will just step in and he'll have these kinds of nights. So it's possible he just sees this thing through the entire rest of the way. Lord knows he's got a lot to prove, and the injury thing is a little bit concerning, but not a lot concerning. So maybe a green light for Jonathan Kuminga, at least in the short term here. Let's get to Sacramento, said nobody, except for Sacramento's actually a really nice place to live. I'll throw that out there. Precious Achiuwa just went off last night. 29 points, 12 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 3 threes, 33 minutes. It was a junky stat game. It was just what he does. It's what the Sacramento Kings are going to be doing for the foreseeable future here. And he was joined by all sorts of friends. You had Nate Clifford, 13 points, 8 boards, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 three. Daquan Plowden, 19 points, 4 rebounds. I wish this guy would do something in any other stat category besides points and threes. He had 3 threes in his 26 minutes. These are junky ball games. And it was interesting. They played Malik Monk. I think they thought they couldn't have too many young guys on the floor without at least Malik Monk and DeMar DeRozan on the floor. But Malik Monk looked terrible. Like he's already all the way checked out. And I don't blame the guy, for everything that's gone on there. But Precious seems to be the safe play right now, at least for the next 2 to 3 weeks while Dylan Cardwell's out. And then Nate Clifford. I mean, if this is going to be a very junky situation, maybe he can kind of scoot his way through it. So I like those 3, and I know you got one more coming up. So who do you got next?
Hey, Brew, would you rather have Precious or Maxime Reynaud?
Ooh, man, that's a good one. I guess Maxime Reynaud, because they got more invested in him.
He feels safer to me, but I feel like Precious has more upside.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to kind of look like it's looked in the last 3 games. You're going to have a pop game, and then you're going to have a dud, and then you're going to have a pop game, and then you're going to have a dud. And I think it's just going to kind of keep going like that. But these pop games are freaking massive. And again, it's a junk ball environment. So stuff that we're not normally counting on him for, he's got a better chance of getting steals, blocks, copious amounts of threes. It's a weird time in Sacramento, but Precious Achiuwa is going to gravitate towards stats.
And the other thing with Achiuwa, like, it's not like he just had one good game. He's been creeping up for a few weeks now. And I feel like you were at the front end of that. And, it got my attention. I started playing him in FanDuel and used him. And my son last night was like, wow, how did you know to play Precious Achiuwa tonight? I'm like, he's been playing good, man. Like he went and picked him up. So Achiuwa's a great pickup right now. Reynaud is the safe bet. Achiuwa is the swing for the fence guy.
Absolutely. So who else you got, Doc?
I've got Reluctantly, I don't love this guy. I don't think you must run out and get him. But Nick Richards could end up being the guy in Chicago. This Jalen Smith injury does not sound good. Could keep him out for a while. The dancing bear, Yabusele, hasn't really done a whole lot yet for the Bulls. And then you got Nick Richard, 14 points, 10 boards last night. He didn't have any blocks or steals, but he played 27 minutes. We know he can play. And I think he might end up being the guy. So if you're in a deep league and you're just trying to find a center on your waiver wire, he might be sitting there.
Yeah, he might be the last man standing there. But man, woof, right? Like Chicago's front court, this doesn't feel like anybody can truly have fantasy value there. Nick Richards, we've seen him try. He had a 5-game span in Charlotte last year that he started blocking shots. And it was like, well, where would this come from? Like, why not all the time? And it just doesn't seem like he has any interest in blocking any shots anytime soon. But he might be the last man standing. Therefore, he's worth a pickup. We'll go to the Clippers, Doc. Derek Jones Jr., 18 points, 1 board, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 1 3. 32 minutes, kind of a classic Derek Jones Jr. good line. We're starting to see Kawhi Leonard, hit the injury report more often. John Collins on the injury report. And I don't know if they're going to try to save Kawhi for whatever their playoff run might look like. But it feels like Derek Jones Jr. might just slide into a consistent role here. Do you consider him a must-roster player, Doc?
I mean, he's certainly worth consideration. I don't know if I consider him must-own. And I'm a Derek Jones Jr. guy. Maybe. I mean, I haven't been totally dialed into what he's doing. Based on what you're saying, I think he's close to being must-own. I don't know that you have to have DJJ on your team.
Yeah, it's definitely formats, right? Like if you're in a 14-team format, a 200-player format, I would consider him must-roster. But I do not think in a 12-team format that there's enough meat to the bone there. But in those formats, and especially as you get into the final month of Roto leagues, folks start kind of honing in on the stats that they need. Derek Jones Jr. getting a consistent role and being an efficient player, I think, bumps his value up in Roto formats. Let's get back to Sacramento, Doc. Who do you like there?
Your guy, Devin Carter. And when I say your guy, I mean my guy, because I don't think you are a Devin Carter.
I'm not
lover. You're not a lover.
But he might. No, but statistically in fantasy leagues, I'm probably with you.
15 points, 7 boards, 5 dimes, 4 steals last night. 32 minutes. He's just like some of these other guys, like Jay Huff, and you need to be sure he's playing and he's getting minutes. But if Devin Carter is going to get 30 minutes, I'll fire him up. And when I saw he was in yesterday and some of his other guys in Sacramento are out, and just everything Sacramento's got going on with the tank right now, I think Devin Carter is probably good to go as long as he's healthy.
I don't think they're going to sit Russ. Just a little here and a little there. But if they ever go full, no Russ, the Devin Carter will get this line every night. Like maybe not the 4 steals, but like 15, 5, and 5. That's kind of just what he does. And I don't believe in the player, and I don't believe in the injury situation long term. But Sacramento's got no reason not to throw him out there as long as he's healthy. When he had the 6-minute night, it was probably a legitimate back injury, and this guy's had a hard time staying healthy throughout his entire career. But
to your point, I'm not throwing Devin Carter into my FanDuel lineup or my real lineup on nights I know Westbrook's going to start. Like Westbrook has to be out.
And this is the thing with Sacramento in general. Westbrook's presence on the team just knocks everybody back several rounds. Like it's kind of crazy what they allow Russell Westbrook to do, but there's no leadership in Sacramento at any level, and they just let him go out there and chuck bad shots. And sometimes he makes a lot of them, and then everybody gets happy about that. And then he plays hard. I can give him that, but everything else is a disaster there. But enough about Sacramento. Let's get to Brooklyn. Day'Ron Sharpe had one of his classic good nights, 14 and 11, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 19 minutes. Have you seen a player play 19 minutes so consistently, Doc? It's kind of crazy. Like they're just like, no, you get 19 minutes, man. Whatever you want to do in those 19 minutes, that's up to you. And it's like a 50-50 shot. He could go for 5 and 4 with nothing, or he could have one of these. And
it's almost like he plays for the Wizards.
Yeah, man, this prescribed 19 minutes and it's a newfangled tanking strategy. It's just it is what it is. And Day'Ron Sharpe, I guess my only thing I can say for Day'Ron Sharpe, can he be better than what we've seen, which is basically good game, bad game, good game, bad game, and maybe not even that. Maybe it's a 40-60 split. There is maybe the games get so junky that he somehow rises a level or two up in the pecking order of the junk ball that gets played. And then he gets more responsibility, more usage, and you get more of this rather than less of this. So he's on the radar for sure. We want him to do more, but for whatever reason, he can't play more than 19 minutes.
It's really interesting, Brew. Like you have these little kids, like 8 and 9-year-old kids that play for these really good teams. And sometimes these coaches are like, I'm only playing my studs. Like we've got to win every game. And like these kids can't get off the bench hardly at all. And then in the NBA, you've got these teams, professional teams, running their best players 18 minutes along with their worst players 18 minutes. And it's just crazy.
It's actually Kurt Heelan, who we used to work with over in NBC, wrote an article for Pro Basketball Talk, basically getting rid of the draft. It's just his opinion on it. And there's been several stories written on this and opinions had on this. And I'm kind of like listening now. At first I heard it, I was like, I can't get rid of the draft. That's like, what? How does that work? But now I'm just going, yeah, if we did that, I don't care how bad the other elements of that would be. I think maybe we would just have teams playing to win. And that, what a thought. What an idea there. All right. That's a great time to shift gears and talk about players who are struggling. Buy lows, candidates to drop. Doc, who's your first player in the drop zone, and why is it Denny Avdia?
Oh, is it Denny Avdia?
It is now. I feel like we had to have a conversation about him. So let's consider him our player in the drop zone. And what do you think? Like,
what do we know?
A lot of people are asking about Denny Avdia.
What do we know about his back injury?
Not a ton.
We don't know anything.
I mean, we know that it's fairly bad, and then he's going to take some time off.
How much time?
That's the big question here. Probably a couple weeks. You think
but nothing's been stated. He's just like day to day, right?
Let's see. What's the official designation as of this minute?
Like what's the last? Remain sideline on Thursday.
Like, I mean, it's a quiet kind of a situation. So, like in these situations where we don't have any information really, and we know that, like when I saw this happen, I looked at it, I said, that's going to leave a mark. He tweaked his back, and in the middle of the game, he was just kind of walking like a very old man, like John Elway at his worst. And that doesn't really kind of go away all that fast. And it feels like they tried to push through it and push through it and push through it. And now I think they're realizing like if they have any interest at all in competing in basketball beyond April 12th, they're going to need to get him healthy. And, maybe they don't even care at this rate. You're starting to see Shaedon Sharpe shut down. Like if you're the Portland Trailblazers, you've been pretty bad this season just overall. And you don't have Shaedon Sharpe for a while, and Denny Avdia is just basically breaking on you.
Yeah.
Like, do you just pull the plug? And I think that's kind of the conversation surrounding this. So what do you do with a player who's like without looking it up, like a third round value?
I mean, I guess you try to trade him now before they give us more news.
If your trade deadline hasn't passed, yes. And what would you ask for in return, Doc? Like a top 100 player? I mean, I would be thinking about a top 100 player.
Yeah.
At this point.
But like you said, I doubt there's any leagues that still have trading available. Or many.
It's close. I've actually got a couple leagues that are still open. I know that a lot of leagues that are head to head and super serious. They've kind of moved everything forward a lot. And Andre points out that there's quite a few that have it open.
Would you drop Denny to pick up Jason Tatum?
I would. If it was a drop situation, yeah, I would. I think Jason Tatum's got everything to play for. Denny, I don't think he has as much to play for. And in terms of a trade, I do think a top 100 player makes a lot of sense here, especially if you could get a top 100 player. This time of year is so crazy. If you get a top 100 player that is playing, that's worth a ton right now. So teams that are in the standings hunt, still trying to competitively play basketball, and or a team that's like the Kings are getting interesting right now because they've lost so many players now. That like Precious Achiuwa, Nick Clifford, et cetera, that we we're just talking about are all going to be playing. So they might be interesting in a conversation like this because the person who has or looking at potentially getting Danny Avdia probably looks at these guys. Oh, you know what? I could probably find another one of these guys in the waiver wire. I'm not going to find another Danny Avdia, and they would be listening. And I think you can probably fleece somebody for approximately top 75, top 60 rest of season value if you were to take on a deal like this, which there is some elements of risk. Don't get me wrong, but it's the reading of the tea leaves. Let's go Denny Avdia or Giannis Antetokounmpo, Doc. Who do you like?
Denny.
Interesting. That's a very interesting one. I feel like Giannis has more motivation to play and might have a better injury timetable. So I'll take Giannis, but it feels very shaky. Like I could probably be swayed one way or another.
I just don't think. I just have this feeling Giannis is not going to play.
He shouldn't.
I don't know.
I think the interesting thing there is they won a basketball game, and it kind of keeps them, in this winning mentality a little bit, and keeps the dream alive for Giannis. But he shouldn't play. The Bucks shouldn't let him play, and they should probably get rid of Doc Rivers while they're at it. Denny or Jalen Williams?
Jalen Williams.
Yeah, Jalen Williams has got a week on that timetable. They want him back on the floor, I bet. Like they want to get that going, and they want to get their momentum built before April. Denny or Darius Garland, who's getting closer to a return?
Garland.
Yeah, I would take Garland as well. This is a fun one. Denny or Reed Shepherd?
Right now, this very second, I feel better about Reed Shepherd.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Denny or De'Aaron Fox? That's a fun one. It's a fun one for the wrong reasons.
Well, I know Fox is playing every game from here on out.
Until the standings island hits. But yeah, Fox. Denny or I'm not even going to add. Denny or Jaden, Mr. Historic stat line the other day, McDaniels. Give me Jaden McDaniels.
I'm hanging on to Denny.
Denny or Jarris Walker?
Jarris.
Jarris just had a what was that? I want to get the injury right. He went into the tunnel and had some back trouble. I don't know if this was widely reported. Dustin Dopirak, beat writer for the Pacers, said that he and Andrew Nembhard were having back trouble at the end of the game. And I don't know what Sunday's going to look like, in quotes. That's from Rick Carlisle. And they play Memphis on Sunday. So Dustin's comment on that as well. We all know what Sunday's going to look like. The NBA. It's fantastic. Let's see here. So I'll take Jarris Walker still, but I think Jarris Walker might have a game off this weekend. Denny or Steph Curry, Doc?
I'll take Steph.
Yeah, Steph easy. Denny or Nickeil Alexander-Walker?
I'll take it. NAW.
Yeah, he's a little dinged up, but I'll take him for sure. And that is Andre adds the label on this injury is low back injury management is what this label is. Okay. Denny or Colin Gillespie? That's clearly a planted question. There's no value in that question. All right, Doc, let's get to the real drop zone. Who would you like to kick us off with?
Oh, hey. Let's go with my man. Where did he go? Where is he? I lost him. Oh, he's not on here. Oh, yeah, there he is. DeAndre Ayton. 2 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. Nothing else. 23 minutes. LeBron and Luka have to be like, dude, what is happening?
Well, I mean, I mentioned this in the pregame, but so there's a story written by Dave McMenamin at ESPN, and inside of that story, Ayton's quoted as saying, "They want me to be Clint Capella." I might be getting one word wrong in that quote. That quote went viral. And then Clint Capella responded last night and said something along the lines of, "You're playing with 2 generational playmakers, man. you gotta get going here." This is rock bottom, right? Like,
it's been bad. Like, it's like one decent game every 5 or 6, I feel like. And he just doesn't even look right out on the floor. Like he's out there jogging up and down the court.
Yeah, it's very bad. I don't know if this. I was wondering. I didn't read the stories because it just wasn't that interesting to me. But but basically, kind of wonder. Ayton is a guy that sounds like he sometimes could easily get misquoted, or maybe he says something and doesn't really mean it in the way that it comes across. And I almost wonder if when that story kind of went viral, did he get in his own head a little bit and had yet another bad game? He's just clearly not confident anymore. And I wonder, is Los Angeles going to care? Like, are they going to try to rebuild him up, or are they just kind of like, man, we don't care. Like, if you're going to play, you're going to play. And yeah, we need you, but we're not going to coddle you and baby you along the whole way. So bottom line, Doc, are you going to drop DeAndre Ayton?
Luckily, I don't have him anywhere, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I mean, if some of these guys we're calling great pick, would I drop Ayton to get Kuminga right now? Yeah. Yes. You don't have to hold DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, no, I think it's officially, prior to a couple of weeks, ago, I would just say, hey, look, at worst, it's late round value. Well, it's getting pretty damn bad right now. Like, and with this kind of dip potential, it's getting harder to kind of justify. Like the last 3 weeks, really bad off the board outside the top 200. The week prior to that, he was going fairly well. So he's got 3 really bad weeks under his belt. I guess the counter argument here is it's been so bad that the bounce back could be right around the corner, but I cannot tell you that he's a must roster player right now because this is terrible. Let's get to Kobe White. 7 points, 6 assists, 1 steal, 17 minutes. Yeah, it's a new team. We can maybe kind of talk calf injury and say he's knocking off the rust, or they're just kind of taking it slow. But there's just not enough meat to the bone here to be putting up with this. I do believe there's a really good player in there somewhere. I don't know how badly he's hurt, and it just seems like it's showing up in the numbers, and the situation's not great. So to me, this seems like a garden variety drop. So Doc, if you see it any other way, let me know. Otherwise, who's your next drop?
I don't know that Kobe White is a straight up drop, and I don't know how injured he is, but I know that going to a new team that's playing really well and trying to win every game, and like, bro, don't disrupt the flow. And I feel like that's what's happening to Kobe White. Brew, I have a feeling since you said he's flat out just drop him,
it's going over.
He's going to have a big game, real big game.
I don't go to that. Was that the crying strategy? I don't go to that very often. I don't think it's going to happen here. I really don't.
Yeah, you may be right. I'm not convinced it's going to happen either. And if you don't want to hold on to Kobe White anymore, feel free to drop him. I just don't know that it's over yet. He's an injury away.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. the -1, if we want to name it as a strategy, the -1 for a player that is good and can produce is a pretty powerful thing in fantasy leagues. If the player can't produce and a -1 hits, then he can't produce. It's just sort of obvious stuff there. But
I'm going to go to the drop zone with my number 2 is Ryan Kalkbrenner. Staying there in Charlotte. 4 points.
Excellent enunciation of the L in
4
Kalk.
points, 4 boards, 1 assist, nothing else. Like, it's terrible. 12 minutes. Moussa Diabate kind of went off again. I don't even know, man. Kalkbrenner may do something at some point later, but they're not going to give him minutes. Can't mess with him.
Position battle's been won. And I mean, I was kind of like losing my mind during the first month and a half of the season. I was like, I guess, okay, I guess I read it wrong. But it seemed to me that Moussa Diabate just fits. It's almost like an athletic center that can cover the pick and roll and play defense at a high level is so super hard to find. I can't imagine we will not talk about this later in another show today. I'll take Derek Queen, Doc. Speaking of athletic centers that can totally defend, Derek Queen, 7 points, 7 boards, 1 assist, 0 defensive stats, 0 threes, 20 minutes. I guess if there's a silver lining, DeAndre Jordan started, only played something like 14 minutes. So it wasn't like a total DeAndre Jordan party. But man, it's gotten bad. And I think DeJounte Murray arriving has really, really made things super tough on him in particular, because they just got so many players that handle the ball. Derek Queen's like an afterthought right now. So are you dropping Derek Queen, Doc?
I don't have Derek Queen anywhere, so I don't really need to make that decision. But I don't know, man. New Orleans if Derek Queen's healthy, I think he's going to come out on the other side of this by the time the season ends. But it's tough right now. Yeah, if Kuminga was sitting out there, or someone like that, Precious Achiuwa, that I thought I really needed to get right now, I could see me dropping him for them.
It's a deep breath time. I mean, even in the 200 player 2 center formats that I'm playing a ton in, I look at a Derek Queen situation. I go, it feels like you should hold, but like it also feels like the aggressive GM goes, you know what, this isn't going to work out for a couple weeks, and I'm talking roto formats here. It's not going to work out for a couple weeks. You might be better off taking the no-name guy who's going to play and just compile. And Derek Queen, what's the over-under, Doc, on Derek Queen kind of becoming the priority in New Orleans? You think that's an April 1? You think it's like a March 15? Because that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I think eventually they get tired of Derek Queen coming out here and going for 7 and 7 and nothing, and they look terrible for their draft pick. Like, what do you think about that?
I think March 15th is far enough away that date seems about right. 2 more weeks of misery.
Yeah. And so if you can stomach the 2 more weeks of misery, I think you got to try to make it work out.
DeAndre Ayton just saw his shadow.
What happened? Did he say something?
We got 2 more weeks of poor play from Derek Queen coming.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, at least he's not shoveling ice. Who else you got, Doc?
Ooh, DeMar DeRozan. Domantas Sabonis shut down, done, gone. Zach LaVine no longer in the mix here. Westbrook got a night off last night. So the last man standing there is DeMar DeRozan. The question is, I feel like he's the kind of guy that's like, no, I don't care if we're tanking or not. I'm finishing the season. Brew, do you feel that he is that way as well?
I do. I think that I think kind of maybe be selective about certain things. Like, I think there's going to be games where he asks, or they tell him he can just sort of take the ball and go. And like, for example, when they played San Antonio the other day, it was sort of delivered through the ranks of the media that, oh yeah, he was against his former team, so therefore he got to shoot a lot. And I was actually kind of just looking at the schedule right now to see if I could predict when DeMar DeRozan's next big game will be. And looking like we're in February here, and so in March is the next game.
He had a bad game last night. It was, and the reason we're talking about him, 7 points, 2 boards, 5 assists, 25 minutes, 7 points.
Look, they play the Lakers in Phoenix, and the Phoenix game is on NBC. Unless it somehow gets flexed out, but I kind of doubt at this point we'll see that. So I think they will go back to him against the Lakers. This is in LA. This is in his hometown. This is like anything to keep DeMar DeRozan happy, right? Like this is actually a way that the Sacramento Kings franchise thinks, which makes no sense at all. But of course, it makes perfect sense. I think he plays and goes pretty good in this next game on Sunday. And then on Tuesday against Phoenix, I think he goes pretty good. And then on Thursday against the Pelicans, I think he just kind of stops. I think that's the game they give the kids the ball and get out of the way. And then they're going to turn around and play Chicago on Sunday, the 8th. And then they're going to let him go off in that game. And then they're going to get a ton of tanking teams in general down the stretch. But then you get Indy, Charlotte, and then the Clippers on that Sunday. I think he's going to pick that game on the 14th to go off. So I would hang on to him for a couple games. But after that, when you got like, say, 2 big games out of like maybe like 5. There's a San Antonio in there on March 17th. He's going to do 1 out of every 3 or 2 games is going to be good. If you can time it, then you know what you're doing.
But if he's going to play till the end of the season, even if he's not playing that great, I don't know.
He's not going for a buyout is the word on the street. Yeah, he's not going for a buyout.
Still be better than people on your waiver wire, but I mean he's in the conversation. That's for sure.
And when you get past, just to kind of finish this, since we did the deep dive, that March 22nd through the end of the month, there's really nothing that I think stands out as a DeMar DeRozan game, and there might be one April 5th game that stands out. So I think once you get halfway through March, it's going to be time to get rid of DeMar DeRozan. And let's get to another spicy topic. Tristan Vukcevic. He got the old classic 17 minutes, 11 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, no defensive stats, 1-3. I guess when I looked at this line, I said, oh, obviously this sucks. But, he scored, on a per minute basis. This kind of works out to like a 20.6 rebound line. Maybe there would have been a defensive stat or 2 in there. A couple threes. It's not a terrible line. It's just another question mark as are they going to actually let this guy go? Did see reports that your guy, Alexander Sarr, is not as far along in participating with the team as Trae Young is. And Trae Young's a guy that we probably have an over-under on like 3 games played this season, if any. So, it's sitting right there for Tristan Vukcevic. I guess you got to just treat him as what? Like a luxury stash, an emergency play. Wizards announce that these guys are week to week. Alex Sarr and Trae Young, says Andre. So, it's a luxury stash, right? Like, eventually they might flip the switch.
I've given up on Vukes. Like, if I have a busy day and I can play, everybody and have to put a guy on the bench, it's going to be Vukes that's going on the bench.
In addition to that, Keyshawn George missed the game. I think I'm done with Keyshawn George. I hate to say it, but like if we can't trust you, like it gets really hard to deal with. And if you're in a 9-cat format, you get turnovers on top of it. But even like the whole damn team, Bilal Coulibaly, dead to me. Trey Johnson, looking terrible out there and dead to me.
And they're playing all these dudes 18 minutes, man. I mean, it's just you can't.
It used to be you could count on a tanking team to tank ethically. Not anymore. Doc, you got any other honorable mentions that you want to talk about?
Your boy, where are his numbers? Oh, he didn't even make the list. Musa Cisse. I looked at it. Over his last 3 games, I think he has scored 6 points. He has 15 rebounds and 1 block.
Impressive.
Hardly any minutes. Now he might be headed back to the G League tonight. I mean, everybody in Dallas is hurt.
Yeah, it's interesting. Marvin Bagley's ruled out for this one. And PJ, that's correct, right? That Marvin Bagley's ruled out. I thought I saw that before we went on air. PJ Washington, doubtful. Dan Gafford probably playing in this one. Yeah, Bagley out.
And it sounds like Musa might be going back to the G League. So,
yeah, but they don't play a game until Sunday, I believe, the G League team.
okay.
So this is interesting because I don't think we did get a doubtful on the most recent injury report. So maybe Dallas is super tanking here. I don't know. He could be doubtful due to the negotiation on his upcoming rest of season deal. And we've got the Chris Middleton situation where there's interest from Denver reportedly. We don't know how much. If I was Chris Middleton, I'd want to play some postseason basketball before my legs give out. And Denver would be an amazing spot for him to land. So I think there's a lot of negotiating going on in this situation. I'll say this. Doc, are you done bagging on Musa Cisse?
Oh, am I done bagging on him?
Yeah. Do you got anything else in the holster?
No, I'm done. When he
Why
does something
at the last possible moment that this could work out for him.
When he does something again, I will go pick him up. But I mean, he's literally rostered in 0%. 0.2% of fantasy leagues.
Yes, this is it's right to the edge of where I said I would go with this thing. And it's right to the edge of the timeline at March 1st here where somebody gets a buyout and then you get an open roster spot. They're going to have to make the super hard choice between Ryan Nembhard and Musa Cisse. I don't know. I'd probably take the big man that can shut down pick and rolls and is going to be as athletic as they get. As those guys are really easy to find, I hear. But all the kidding aside, look, if you're gonna take a stab at this, and this has been a luxury stash / lottery ticket upside play, the only way you can look at it, right? For a guy that's in the G League with practically no news about him, all I can tell you is that every time I've watched him, whether it's G League film or in the NBA, I've not come away and been like, oh man, that guy's not gonna be able to do what I think he could do. Maybe it doesn't work out because the NBA is a business and we've seen plenty of players. Look, Rashawn Holmes for years. It took 4 years of screaming from the top of the mountaintops about Rashawn Holmes. And his very first time he gets action in Sacramento, he has a very good season and Sacramento played very well with him on the basketball floor. So, this stuff does happen all the time. When I watched the film from yesterday, he just jumped off the page and it was pretty damn impressive. But he only played 7 minutes, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm just going to luxury stash him until if we get through, he doesn't get the 2A or he doesn't get the season long deal, we'll move on at some point, but not yet for me. Mark Williams shows up as an honorable mention here. And I think what I've come down on Phoenix my analysis on Phoenix lately is Jalen Green is not doing well for them. Jalen Green has struggled and it's hitting everybody else in the box score. He's ball stopping. It's really hard to watch. Eventually, maybe this thing could work out for him in Phoenix and he's going to have to figure it out on the fly at a very tough time. Hopefully they get the players back and they can work it out in March and April. Otherwise, they're going to probably struggle in the playoffs because Jalen Green, while he can get his shot, he's not helping others to get theirs. And Mark Williams, 13 minutes, did get you 10 boards, but it's been bad for Mark lately. I'm going to hang on. His fantasy value is too high. All right, let's look at the top streamers and those with the best schedules heading into the weekend. We've got one game teams all over the place from Friday to Sunday. I believe it was 16 teams or something. There's a lot of teams that only have one game from Friday to Sunday. Phoenix doesn't play at all. We have no Friday, Saturday streamers. We have no teams playing on Friday, Saturday. Friday and Sunday, we do have a handful of teams. I'll just rattle them off real quick. Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Memphis, Boston, Dallas, Knicks, Detroit, Cleveland, Brooklyn, Denver. Doc, who do you like as a streamer in that group?
Cason Wallace of OKC. He scored at least 20 in 3 straight. He has a steal, at least one steal, sometimes 3 or 4 in 4 straight games. The assists have been great in his last 4 games. The shooting has been pretty good overall, and 30 minutes a night. And OKC is still super banged up.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and I like they flipped the switch for him because he's clearly capable. And just a reminder that sometimes teams and players just shut it down in terms of scoring and being in the box score. Kayson's got the capability. He's just now got the opportunity. So he'll keep it going, I think. Jalen Tyson is mine. I think with Cleveland being banged up, this is yet another opportunity for him to just do what he does. It seems super simple when you get 2 games against 1 for a lot of the competition out there. So if Jalen Tyson's just kind of hanging out on the waiver wire, I think this is a good time to pick him up, and maybe you get lucky, you get some rest of season value there. Doc, who do you got next?
I think Dennis Schroeder is probable to play tonight. If he was out with the James Harden and the Donovan Mitchell situation where they both may not play, I'd be into Craig Porter tonight. But because Schroeder's going to play, I'm going to go with Denny Schroeder. I don't have his stats pulled up, but man, that last game he played was
like 25 and 6 or something.
It was pretty good. Yeah, he's probable tonight against the Pistons. Last game was 26 points with 5 dimes, a steal, and 3 threes.
I mean, look, we got Donovan Mitchell, dealing with a groin injury right now, and James Harden dealing with a thumb. Like this seems like a great opportunity for them to get up there and make some numbers. I'll take us to somebody who's not performing, Ousmane Dieng. I think there's a good time to take a chance on the guy. You're gonna get 2 games out of this. Even if they're 11-minute spectacular, low-level performances, you'll probably get something serviceable compared to the 1-game players out there, and then you get the upside. And with players like him, you're just trying to buy chunks of the timeline. At some point in time, it feels like Milwaukee will punt the season, and then it'll be Ousmane Dieng season. Doc, let's look at the Saturday-Sunday action. We've got 3 teams that play Saturday and Sunday. It's New Orleans, Portland, and the Lakers. Who do you like out of that group?
Just to go back to the previous group, which I just had a couple HMs that I know were not on your sheet, but Javon Small and Jalen Williams, I think are also guys you want to look at in that group. As far as the other group, which is what days is this again, Brew?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday. I've got Scoot Henderson written down as number 1, and it's basically by process of elimination in Portland. Like Denny Abdi is hurt. Shaden Sharp's hurt. Silly season is sort of here. So I think that means they're just going to let Scoot go out there and run around and do what he can do.
Scoot's kind of interesting pickup all of a sudden, and hopefully I one day know what he looks like. But you got to develop this guy if you're Portland, and if all these other guys are hurt, I mean, there's going to be some stat set issues there, but you just sort of plug your nose and hope for the best. Hopefully he could just kind of stay on the floor. I feel like if he just stays on the floor, he's in a good spot. Let's get to Jake LaRavia. I think LaRavia in a Saturday-Sunday combo, even if LeBron and Luka, they both play both games, or even Austin, if all 3 of these guys play both days, they don't want to go hard in both days. And that's where a guy like Jake LaRavia can at least get you 1 good game, I think, out of the 2. And you combine those 2 things and you're going to have yourself a good stat situation. So I'll take Jake LaRavia. Doc, who do you got next?
I don't like this group. I'm going to be honest. But out of this group, I kind of like Herb Jones just because the steals are probably going to be there. He has 8 of them over his last 2 games. He's going to get you assists. He's going to block some shots. He's going to hit some threes, and he's not going to score very many points. Not a huge Herb fan, but hell, I mean, 3 steals on Thursday night and 5 steals on Tuesday night. Roll it.
He's been better lately than any point in time prior to this most recent healthy run. So I'm generally a Herb Jones guy. So I've been enjoying seeing the box score and him not just completely disappearing. So I'm with you on that. I'll take us to Jeremiah Fears because a young player who New Orleans theoretically wants to develop. Yeah, they got DeJounte Murray, and that's not great right now. But Jeremiah Fears, I like situations like this. You could just put a marker down on a good player. 2 games of Jeremiah Fears. Probably profiles like a very bad game out of a good 1-game player or something. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. So I like getting that marker down on Jeremiah Fears. And that's going to do it for this episode of Fantasy NBA Today. If you're listening on the pod feed, please take 60 seconds, leave a 5-star review. Really helps us out. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the Sports Ethos channel so you guys never miss an episode. From Doc, Andre, and everybody here at Sports Ethos, we'll be right back with our daily fantasy deep dive, available exclusively on the Fantasy NBA Today pod feed and the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. This has been Fantasy NBA Today, presented by FanDuel.
That